I'm not sure if either one of you are familiar with Diamonte Driver. No one should ever forget that name. Yes, 12-year-old Diamonte Driver, Prince George's County, 12-year-old black boy who died from that same abscess that that little patient of mine from Head Start had right there in Maryland. Died. The mother buried her firstborn due to a number one preventable disease. You know why? He had that abscess. No dentist would accept his Medicaid to write him a prescription to save his life. So for the first 15 years of my dental career, I lived in Montclair, New Jersey. My husband and I at the time, we were raising 3 incredible children. The dental profession allowed me to give my children all that I did not receive growing up in Brooklyn, New York with a single parent. So literally as a black dentist, I was checking off the boxes of what, quote unquote, the world deems as success. Beautiful home, vacation, private school, sports, vacation home, all of that. Boxes were checked. So after 15 years, I felt very empty in my soul. I said, okay, I've gone through dental school, did my residency, have a successful practice, knew that I wanted to become a dentist since I was 15 years old. Why am I feeling so empty? And so I figured I'd have a long conversation with the guy above. And so I literally got on my knees and I said, I've checked off every box that I think that I am supposed to do and achieve or receive from this profession, but there's something missing. And then I realized as a dentist that you can provide a service to a patient, which is completely different than serving a community. And so what I was doing for the first 15 years was providing a service. Patient comes in, they have a broken tooth, I provide a fill-in. Patient wanted dentures, I provided dentures. That's great, and I love the clinical aspect of dentistry, but something in my soul and spiritually was missing, and that was me serving my community. So what I decided to do, I identified a local Head Start program in the Montclair, New Jersey area, and I started volunteering my time there on the days that I was off from my office. And that started to fill my soul because now I am giving back, because I believe we're all servants of God, and to some capacity, we need to give back. We need to use our talents for the less fortunate. So that's what I was doing. I was providing oral education for the children and educating the parents and the teachers and the caregivers. And my soul started to be filled and replenished. Then one thing that I noticed was many of the children had broken teeth or very bad dentition or mouths. And I didn't understand because, as I said earlier, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in the projects. I had a single parent. I was a latchkey kid. And so Montclair, New Jersey, completely different than Brooklyn, New York. So Montclair, New Jersey, exactly. High income per capita. And I'm like, but why are our children in the community looking like this? So I had to educate myself on where I was living, because my husband grew up in that area. And I realized that most of the kids that were at the Head Start program were from the 4th ward, which was the low income ward, right? And so when I found that out, I decided now to open up my doors of my practice and start busing our children in to the office, free dental services. All I need is a parental consent form from the parent, and come on in, free dental services on my day off. So there was one 5-year-old girl who had an abscess the size of a golf ball, literally at the lower right of her mouth. She had this abscess for 3 months because She wasn't living in Montclair. She was living in another county. She could not find a dentist in a 5-mile radius to accept her Medicaid. And Medicaid, as we know, is insurance for the underserved and underinsured population. And when I found that out, she was a student of the Head Start program. And when I found that out, it hit home hard. I said, here I am, a Black dentist, successful. I'm leaving my home to treat this little girl from a Head Start program. My son was almost her age. I said, something's wrong. I'm doing something wrong. I said, and then I had a long conversation with the Lord. I said, God, what is it that you want me to do with this talent? Now, I love dentistry. I love working with my hands. I'm great at it. But what is it that you're calling me to do? And that's when he spoke very clearly that I want you to serve your community with your talents. And that's how Kinder Smile Foundation was born. So I gave up my private practice.
Today we have Dr. Nicole McGrath-Barnes. She gave an amazing intro, but it did no justice, so I'm going to read off her bio. It's a must hear. Dr. Nicole McGrath-Barnes is the founder and CEO of Kinder Smiles Foundation, which she established in 2007 following a personal story of a patient in her own community. Kinder Smiles Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Their mission is to provide underserved children and families with access to comprehensive dental care and educate underserved children and their families about the importance of dental hygiene, envisioning a future where every child has access to a dentist and dental diseases are eradicated. Dr. Nicole vowed not only to make a difference in ensuring that all children have access to oral health care, but that a change in policy will be made for future generations. She is a tireless advocate of raising awareness of oral health inadequacies for racially, ethnically, and socioeconomically disadvantaged children, and is a leading New Jersey voice for reducing these disparities. Dr. Nicole earned her dental degree from the University of Maryland and completed her residency program at the University of Maryland, New Jersey, in Newark, New Jersey. She successfully completed the leadership program in 2010, offered by the American Dental Association Institute for Diversity in Leadership, in partnership with Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management. In 2017, Dr. Nicole was recognized for her exceptional leadership and service and was inducted as a fellow of the American College of Dentists, the oldest national honorary organization for dentists, an elite honor achieved by only 3.5% of U.S. dentists. In 2022, she was named Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Champion in the state of New Jersey by the American Dental Association. In 2024, Dr. Nicole was selected by the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry Foundation to receive the Dr. Beverly A. Largent Access to Care Innovator Award. Among a long list of distinctions, in 2024, Dr. Nicole became an award-winning producer of Kinder Smile Foundation's film, Toothache, The Truth About Oral Healthcare Inequity, which was named Best Homegrown Documentary Feature at the Garden State Film Festival, Best Medical Documentary Feature at the Global Nonviolent Film Festival, and Best Feature-Length Documentary at the DC After Dark Film Festival. With her continued drive and infectious passion, Dr. Nicole continues to be an oral health champion and leader, going to great lengths for each and every child, prenatal mother, student, and staff member. Now back to our interview with Dr. Nicole McGrath-Barnes.
So I gave up my private practice, very successful private practice, and I shift trajectories to now serve in my community as a public health dentist. And I've been doing that for the last over 18 years. Mm-hmm.
Wow. You feel that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just imagine what that child was going through, or maybe still is going through, from having a golf ball size.
Probably so many children she's been able to touch and reach because they didn't have the resources without you
Right.
in your program.
Yes.
That's amazing,
Yes.
doctor.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So we talk about men suffering in silence emotionally, but oral disease is also known as the silent epidemic. Do you see parallels between how people ignore dental warning signs and how men ignore their general health until it becomes an emergency?
Oh, 100%. Oral disease is the silent epidemic that afflicts low-income children in our community. 100%. Men suffering in silence is also, and probably an epidemic, so to speak. There is definitely parallels. A lot of times when you don't have the correct resources or the correct network where you can feel comfortable to let down your guard and say, look, I have no money, I'm in pain, and I need help. Same thing with men. Look, I need help. I need someone to talk to. I'm going through this. So there is definitely a parallel. And I think as a health provider, what I do is, yes, I know that I went to school for 9, 10 years. In addition, I know who I am. I know who I am and whose I am, but that does not make me any better than any person that I treat or anyone in the community. And when you understand that and you meet people where they are, you disarm them so that they can get out of their silence, whether it's mental health, physical health, or oral health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that is great.
Yeah.
That's absolutely great.
Yeah.
So there's a proven link between health, oral health, and major issues like heart disease and diabetes, conditions that affect many men. Why do you think there's such a disconnect in people's minds between their mouth and the rest of their body?
Great question. Because the mouth has always been treated like a side of fries at McDonald's. For centuries, literally, the mouth was not a part of the body. It was treated as a separate entity. And so that has been indoctrinated in our culture and, our culture and our communities. So we are trying our very best now to educate the population, because we believe education is the key to educate the population that your mouth is the gateway to total health. If you look at our Black and brown men who are incarcerated, the majority of them have no teeth or very few teeth, right? Having lack to access to oral health care affects your self-esteem, affects kids at school, affects jobs, affects systemic diabetes, heart disease, dementia. There is a direct correlation. Absolutely.
Really?
And it's now educating the population, just like what you guys are doing right now with this platform, which is incredible. Yes, it's men suffering silence, but there's so many connections and correlations that you can bring in and help educate the platform, even more.
Well, you just touched on it a little bit just now, but my next question was that you've noted that a healthy smile directly impacts your mental health. So can you share some examples of how fixing a physical smile has helped restore someone's internal dignity and how it applies to self-esteem in general?
Absolutely. So as I spoke about the organization, Kindersmile Foundation, we have 3 dental homes. That's where they get their services done. But we also have community programs where we always say we're in the community and for the community. And these programs specifically target children at schools and or pregnant moms to get either free or very reduced services. So we have quite an example. For instance, one 12-year-old, Tamir was 11. He's on the spectrum and with autism. He came in for the first time. His mother brought him in at 11 years old. He had a really big abscess and he was being teased at school. Oh, did the basketball hit you? You missed that, just being teased. And he felt his self-esteem was compromised. He came in, and because of my approach with my patients, I, leave a platform for them to open up and talk about and he shared that story with me. And I said, it's okay. I'm going to educate you now to then educate these bullies. And so, long story short, we were able to clean up the abscess with the antibiotics and do some extractions and fix him up. And he was empowered by that, not just because the abscess subsided, but because he now had education to understand why he got that abscess in the first place and how to prevent that. So that really bolstered his self-esteem. There have been patients who are 15 years old who had to wear dentures, and it was severely affected by their mental health. They didn't want to go on social media, didn't want to smile, were doing poorly in school. But these are some of the brightest kids in our community. And because lack of resources or because of lack of providers in their community who are willing to accept their Medicaid or their insurance, really, really affects them. So we're given dentures. Now they're smiling and now they're on social media. Dentures to a 15-year-old. Can you imagine?
That's crazy.
I can't.
I can't.
Literally.
I can't. So
13-year-old.
let me ask, doctor, why is there a difference between dental insurance and health insurance? Why is it not one? Because I know for myself, in the past, I didn't have dental insurance, but I had health insurance.
Absolutely. Good question, Lucky, because like I said, for many years, the mouth has been here and the body has been here. That's how this world has been indoctrinated. And so when you think of health insurance, you would think of mental health, vision, dental, primary care, all inclusive. But that, unfortunately, is not the case. And dental insurance, buying it separately or getting it separately, is very expensive. Going to the dentist can be very expensive. And although we have a population who may be on Medicaid, right, which is dental insurance, the Medicaid reimburse the dentist very minimally. So providers don't even want to accept Medicaid because they're like, look, if I accept Medicaid and someone comes in and needs an extraction and the state is only going to pay me $30, but yet I can collect $250 from a private insurance. So there's so many holes in our system, and it almost seems like it's been installed for us to fail anyway and keep our communities in this place of abyss. That's why I try to promote these community programs and educate our patients and meet them where they are instead of speaking down to them. We're here to help and to serve and not to hinder.
That's right.
But that's great.
I didn't even. This is all a learning lesson for me. Because a lot of what you're saying, I didn't even know, and then most people probably don't know.
Yeah.
And
the other thing too, Lucky, and guys, is that oral health is the #1 preventable disease. No one's born with cavities. You're not predisposed to cavities due to your genetic lineage. None of that. It's the #1 preventable disease. #1. And if we educate and teach people how to take care of their their mouths, they wouldn't have cavities. I'm not sure if either one of you are familiar with Diamonte Driver. No one should ever forget that name. Yes. 12-year-old Diamonte Driver, Prince George's County, 12-year-old black boy who died from that same abscess that little patient of mine from Head Start had. Right there in Maryland, died. The mother buried her firstborn due to a #1 preventable disease. You know why? He had that abscess. No dentist would accept his Medicaid to write him a prescription to save his life.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. So do you imagine how that mother was suffering in silence? Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
That and the frustration. I mean,
how could you tell someone you lost your child to an oral situation?
Something that's
preventable.
Amazing.
Yes.
And you had an insurance card. Right. It just wasn't worth nothing.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So let's have some fun. All right. So we all know we go to the dentist and they tell us, brush and floss.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, regular toothbrush or spin brush?
Oh, great. I love this. So I'm old school. I would say regular. And I will say this for this reason. First of all, a regular toothbrush, make sure they're always soft bristles, never hard bristles. Okay. Soft bristles.
Okay.
Regular toothbrush, it's because you can manage and increase manual dexterity to get those bristles where you need to get them under the gums to remove the plaque. Spin brush, yeah, I mean, they've evolved over the many, many years. A lot of times they're harder bristles, and if you can't really manipulate the speed, you can actually damage your gum. So better safe than sorry. Absolutely. And spin brushes with younger kids just makes them lazy. That's it. So, and this is what I'm going to say too. Go to the dollar store and you could buy toothbrushes, 5 in a pack for $2 that will last you the whole year plus some. You don't have to spend $8, $9, $10, $12 on a Reach toothbrush, a Colgate toothbrush, a toothbrush that does backflips. No. Simple, soft bristles.
Wait a minute, doctor. My spin brush had Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
No, literally it does. I can check it on the phone.
I got like $100 toothbrush myself. I'm not even lying.
I have a $2 toothbrush.
Thank you.
And that's why I asked.
Mine has a timer on it.
Yeah. I got different speeds and all.
So they got you.
No,
They got you. And that's what they want
It was
to
too
do.
much.
These multi-billion-dollar companies want to reel you in, put Wi-Fi. Next thing you know, your toothbrush is going to start talking to you. Not needed at all. Not needed.
Play music.
I might abort it if it did that.
So, doctor, I have a question. Now, I was actually partly raised by a dentist, so I may have a little bit of a cheat code here.
Okay.
But how important is flossing?
Very important. Everyone needs to floss.
important.
Very important. You've got to do it once a day. But you got to understand why you're flossing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Break it
flossing
down.
because you're removing the plaque and the food particles that are in between your teeth that your bristles of the toothbrush cannot get. And if you don't remove those in a timely fashion, those particles will break down, turn into sugar, break down the enamel, and cause cavities. Now, cavities can be very silent until they get into the nerve when you start experiencing excruciating pain. So to prevent that, you want to floss daily.
Well, when you talk about floss, no, I floss, but water flosser, the little pick flossers, or the flossers just on the regular string, the old school.
Great question. So there you go. I'm old school. Right. So I'm old school. So I'm only going to teach you the old school way. The regular string floss that'll cost $2 or whatever.
At the dollar store.
And you wrap it around your middle finger so you have your thumb and your pointer fingers to maneuver it, and you floss your teeth. You could do it while you're watching the game or doing a commercial. And water picks people use water picks when they have like severe gum disease, that flush out more things or deeper pockets. There are all sorts of mechanisms and things there on the market to use, but it's not that you don't need to invest or spend that. It's serious. I was going to say that, but it is serious to floss. But in terms of spending the money on, yes, exactly.
I just wish I met you before I bought all these items. Put my teeth on.
Here's another one.
Yes.
Listerine, your regular Listerine, and then the pink one, the clinical solution gum disease. Like, is there really a difference, or is it the same Listerine?
Right. So I'm not a big proponent of Listerine. Has some alcohol in it, right? So why are we using Listerine? So you got to understand why these things are on the market. They're on the market so consumers can buy and companies can continue to be billion-dollar companies, literally.
Right.
If you think about your great-grandmother, your great-great-grandmother, and how they took care of their teeth, and they didn't have access to the things the tools and the armamentarium that we had, it's very simple. But let me answer your question. I'm not a big proponent for Listerine or Act. Nothing. No, I'm not. And I tell my patients this, and what I'm telling you, I tell my patients. If you run out of toothpaste, that's okay. The toothpaste is not going to prevent plaque. Your body produces good bacteria and bad bacteria every day. It's just anything in excess is not good. So you run out of toothpaste, don't say, oh, I didn't have toothpaste, I couldn't brush my teeth. You put your toothbrush under the water, you angle your bristles towards your gum line, and you brush your teeth. Then you chew a stick of sugar-free gum. That's good. Mm-hmm. You can use salt water if you run out of toothpaste. So, know that there's a right and a wrong way to brush your teeth. You can sit in the front of the mirror for 20 minutes and brush it the incorrect way and still get oral disease. I forgot. What was your question, Lucky? I know I went on. What did you?
No. Answer Listerine. About the Listerine. Which
the Listerine,
now
yes.
I have. Yeah, now I got to go home and figure that out.
I've ran out, and I usually get the expensive one. And I think, it's like the pink.
No.
Like,
don't do it.
I got the same one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
the one that protects your gums.
So, nothing?
No, because think about it. Nothing but your knowledge and your manual dexterity is going to remove plaque. Toothpaste doesn't, prevent you or doesn't prevent you from getting cavities. Listerine, nothing out there. You don't need those extra things to have good, strong dentition. Literally, I rinse my mouth out sometimes with salt water. When I feel my gums are bleeding a little bit, right, I put a teaspoon of salt in a cup of warm water and I rinse it out because that acts as an isotonic reaction where the salt pulls the fluid out of your gums or the blood and so forth, pulls it out, right? When you're used to put salt on snails and how it would kind of shrivel up. So that's that same kind of reaction. So you don't need to buy all of that. I know Colgate and Palmolive and all of them may not like me, but I'm not here to please them or fatten their pockets. I'm here to build our community and tell them the truth. Yes.
Hey.
And
we got your back.
Yeah. Question. Baking soda.
My grandmother used to brush with baking soda.
Yes.
Baking soda?
So baking soda can be very, very harsh for your teeth. So just a quick little rundown. Your tooth is comprised of 3 layers. The most outer layer is enamel. That's what you see. That's very white, like a piece of paper, but very translucent, meaning you could see through it. Underneath the enamel, it's what's called dentin, D-E-N-T-I-N. That is very yellow and it's very opaque, very thick. And then under that, you have your nerve tissue or your pulp where when you drink something hot or cold, you feel the sensation. Or if you get a cavity and it hurts, that's what your nerve has now been infected. So baking soda is very, very harsh. And when you use that consistently, it wears away the enamel, the most whitest part of your teeth, and therefore exposing the more yellow part of your teeth. So that has been a fallacy that use baking soda, your teeth are going to get white, white, white. That's actually a fallacy. You can use it in moderation a little bit, but it's not an everyday kind of thing. It's not going to get your teeth super white and so forth.
Grandma.
It makes sense because my grandmother was brushing her dentures that was in the cup by her side of the She would brush, they would break it. Maybe that's why she had them in the first place.
It's the baking soda.
Nah, that was good. That was good.
So, is shame and fear often in men from the doctor or even the therapist? And in dentistry, they have dental anxiety or shame about neglected teeth in common. So how do you help patients get past their shame to seek the help they need?
Okay, great question. Well, I do it by meeting my patients where they are. I have 3 children. My eldest needed a root canal. People are like, what? They have a dentist here. Their mom's a dentist. Dad's a free, So I tend to meet people where they are, and then I share my own stories, and that helps them to disarm. And then what I do is I walk my patients through all the procedures. I let them feel and touch and see. I let them look at the x-rays if they're having, and that also decreases anxiety too. And I think when you are vulnerable and humble and you share your stories, they open up more and they feel now that I can have a better doctor-patient relationship. So education is the key to empower people, and being vulnerable and sharing your stories decreases or disarms that anxiety for them to be more themselves and share their stories. And then there's other things like nitrous oxide, or there's other things that you can use to reduce anxiety. But I like to do it the old-fashioned way and say, look, I'm here to help you, and we can help each other. We're partners in taking care of your oral health. So I like to share stories.
Love it. Love it.
I hate going to the dentist.
Yeah.
I
hear that all the time. Yeah.
But I hate going to the dentist.
I hear
Just do what you're going to do so I can get out of here.
I went on Friday. I go all the time, and I pay all this money for this insurance. I'm going to go.
Yeah, no, and that's the mentality that you should have. Make sure you go at least 6 months. Whether you're in pain or not, you got to go. Prevention is the key.
Now, I have to admit, I do duck the whole wisdom pulling thing. I've been ducking that for the last 20 years.
Well, I got my pull when I joined the military. They make you pull them when you go to the military.
Yeah, see, I haven't had any issues yet, but they keep saying, let's do it, like now, and I'm a little...
What you waiting on?
Well, actually, it's funny, because the next question will tell you what I'm waiting on. So, Dr. McGrath, it takes a village. Your foundation operates on the philosophy of it takes a village. Many men try to carry the burdens alone, right? How can building a community support system improve a man's longevity as far as the quality of life?
Building a village, if you just even think about grandparents, great-grandparents, how they grew up, the Black community, having a village, having that security net, one family watching another child's kid come off that's who we are culturally, spiritually. And we need that. They need to know, men need to know that the people in their community have their back. I think building a village is crucially important. That is my philosophy. That is my mentality. When I was raising my 3 biological kids, they always had their cousins around or other kids that I met or their friends and that village provides that safety net to share and to be comfortable and to come. And I think that's missing now. Everyone is in their silos. Everyone is so competitive. People in your family, people in the community, we've lost that. And hence, I think mental health challenges and issues and men suffering in silence have increased. My brother suffered in silence and died by suicide because he probably felt that he was alienated or isolated because he was going through mental health challenges. And how do you share that with someone without someone discriminating or looking down on you, right? So then you continue to recoil until you hear those voices in your head saying you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not handsome, you're too dark, you're too this, you're too that. And the trick of the enemy wants to kill, steal, and destroy and will take you out. So though the village and the safety net and the network is so crucially important, and especially for our young Black males now that are, you know, in their teens, and they need that. They need to know that I can go to any one of you and sit and say, this is what's happening, and without any discrimination or any judgment.
Right.
Nah, that's amazing. That's actually true.
Wish that would happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So, So, Doctor, you're active with the NJHCQI and an advocate for policy change. For men who sees problems in his community, what is the first step to becoming an advocate rather than just a bystander? And also, put down, what exactly is the NJHCQI? Because I didn't write that down.
So that stands for the New Jersey Healthcare Quality Institute, which is also a nonprofit organization that reaches out to many community health partners to raise awareness and to make the healthcare in New Jersey better for all. What was your question?
So you're also an advocate for policy change. For a man who sees a problem in his community, what's the first step to becoming an advocate rather than just a bystander?
Great. Advocacy is not always easy because it puts you out there on the forefront, and not everybody wants to be that person leading because they're thinking that, am I going to get support? But you lead with advocacy when you have a passion. So with Kinder Smile Foundation, I can do as many extractions and fillings as possible. Okay. But what is the legacy of our community? What is the legacy of oral health? What is the legacy of Kinder Smile Foundation? That's changed after I'm gone. So that's where advocacy comes in. You say, I want to create legacy in my community. So therefore, I need to go into the community and be that voice, right? Bystanding is you're part of the problem. Advocacy is you're part of the solution for change. So you decide, do I want to be a part of the problem by just sitting and watching? Or do I want to be a part of the solution and being that only one on the mountaintop yelling and screaming or trying to get the attention of others, regardless if you get 1 view, 2 views, 5 likes? That doesn't matter. When you're an advocate, all of that worldly stuff of who's liking me, doesn't matter, because if God sent you there, you best believe your voice will resonate to everyone and all who need your services.
I love that response.
Yeah.
Love that response.
That was great.
So through your Give Back a Smile program, professionals donate their time. Have you found that the act of service helps the volunteer as much as the patient? Can service be a path to healing for men who are suffering?
Yes, 100%. So remember I told you in the beginning, there's a difference between providing a service and serving a community. And when I took the path of serving my community, that filled my soul. So I know that if it fills my soul, it will fill other providers' soul. And that's exactly what that does. You know, when I go out to garner more volunteers from the providers, they always come back and say, thank you. I've always wanted to do this, but I didn't know how to do this in my own private practice. Thank you for allowing me to be part of the solution to help eradicate the number one preventable disease. Yes, so same with men, you know, back to being a part of the solution, volunteering with young men, and young men who you may not verbalize that they're struggling, but you know, because men, Black men, all men, but we're talking about our men, suffer in silence. So you can help prevent a young man from continuing to suffer in silence by extending what you're doing into Boys and Girls Club or into Big Brothers, you know, just connect market ministry when you're at the store or doing Tintin. You see a young guy, you know, just talking to him and talking about what you're doing absolutely can definitely be an asset.
Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of like breaking it up. When you get into these youth centers and you're talking to these young men, it's almost kind of like breaking up the whole thing of you don't have anyone to talk to, you know, so they won't become men suffering in silence. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, teaching them kind of early that, you know, so I think that's wonderful. I think it's great.
If you could give one specific piece of advice to a man listening right now who is neglecting his health or suffering in silence, what would it be?
It's like, wow. One piece of advice. Know that you're not alone and that people are out there to help you. Shame has no place in us. Don't be embarrassed or ashamed. Shame has no place, and reach out, you know, just cry out for help, whether it's through a text, find resources, for your health, your oral health, your mental health, your physical health. Help is there. And people normally think or often think that they're the only one until they share their story. It makes them feel better. You know, share. Don't be ashamed. I said I'm a believer. The trick of the enemy uses judgment and shame and embarrassment to keep us in this bondage. And we suffer, not only do we suffer, but we deteriorate in silence, you know? So know that shame have no place. You speak up how you want, you say what you want to say, you cry out for help, and that's when you'll get the help. Don't let shame, judgment, embarrassment, past problems keep you in bondage as Black men. It's a lie, and don't believe the lies of this world. You know, I can go on. We are the true chosen ones from God. We've got to walk and believe that by not being in bondage of shame and embarrassment. Oh, I did this, or I got incarcerated, or my brother died by suicide. I was embarrassed. And I was ashamed to share that when that happened almost 18 years ago, because that's what the world indoctrinates. Oh, something was off. Something was wrong with him, mental health. And it was not until a girlfriend said, share that story. Now I share it with humility, because it can save someone else's life. And it can save someone else's life by not being ashamed to say, I am suffering from mental health challenges, to seek help and to seek that village. Don't be kept in bondage by your past. It does not indicate where your future will be. And if you hold on to that shame and that past, you are deteriorating in silence. And that's where this world wants us as Black people to continue to do. Just suffer and deteriorate. Break those chains. Break it by all means, by sharing your story and saying, this is part of my journey because God has me here. Yeah.
Your passion is infectious. I love your passion. Love it.
I was going to say, this sounds familiar. Yes.
You know,
we gotta have you back.
Very enlightening.
I want all of you to succeed beyond what you can imagine, to utilize this platform, and don't give up, and don't be concerned about, quote unquote, what the world deems as success. God is using you guys, and that's all that matters. And it will reach millions, and it will be successful. There are going to be bumps in the road, but long as you're strapped up with your seatbelt, you take those bumps, and the seeds that you sow is a harvest that you will reap. And I pray that you guys read an abundance harvest with this podcast and platform.
From your mouth to God is.
So much.
That's right.
I love it. So, you know, we definitely want to thank you. And I want everyone, I urge everyone to please look up Kinder Smile.
It's going to be in the description. All information will be in our description. Look at it right now.
It is a remarkable program. And as far as volunteers, is there a way for them to reach out to become volunteers if they're ever, you know, for those that are in Jersey?
Absolutely.
Wherever.
Yes, wherever. You know, I didn't delve too much into the programs, but we do have a community service learning programs where I aid children to get into dental school. You know, I've helped over 80.
Wow.
And now there are only 3.8% Black dentists in this country. 3.8%. That's low. That's very low. That number has not moved in close to 50 years. So I'm out at HBCUs. I was at Morgan State University trying to be the mentor, bringing them to Howard University, dental school, and just to promote. So people can volunteer. Absolutely. High school, college, pre-professionals, adults, go on the website. Sometimes we have really big events. A couple of weeks ago, we provided free dentures, glasses, clothing, food to the Trenton community. Maryland, Baltimore is 2 hours away, to come and volunteer at one of the events. It's always updated on our website. So definitely visit us at www.kindersmile.org, and all the opportunities are there.
Well,
thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. And if it's okay with you, we hope to follow up with you in the not too distant future.
Yes.
And I want to really focus more on Kinder Smile, because that's an amazing program that probably everyone needs to hear about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. And I thank you for all three of you, handsome, smart, just incredible men for being obedient and creating this platform that is so needed. Shout out to my son. We go way back. We've been through good, bad, and all sorts, and very, very proud of you. And once again, wishing you God's abundant blessings. Receive it and know that you guys will get there. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Roscoe Squeeze Off.
I'm Lucky Let 'em Know.
Your boy, Richie B.
So next time we are men suffering in silence.
This sound like this guy suffering in silence right now.
No, you know what? Because she would tell you, listening to her, I get choked up, right? Because
I see.
it's like, it's like seeing everything, you know. I was actually there to see everything happen.
Mhm.
And like her heart and her, just everything about, like, it's funny, right? Mother dear, so he always says to me all the time, you're such a good dude, man. You're such a good dude. And this is the reason why, because I've always been surrounded around people like this growing up.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, you know, it's crazy because by chance, when we met, she was in dental school and she was my neighbor.
Wow.
You know,
That's amazing.
yeah, and
That is
my
amazing.
mother was going through some things, you know, with drugs and everything, so she wasn't really there. So she kind of just like took me up, you know what I mean? And
Right.
it was like, I mean, weirdly, nowadays I guess you can't really do it because it looks crazy. But back then, it was just a simple thing of, you know, a village.
See someone needs help, you help.
A village.
Yeah.
So I started being there, and she would, you know, we go around. I went to the family's house. We went to Brooklyn. She used to go to school and just show me around University of Maryland. And it was just so much. And it was like, she was such a very important part of my life.
Right.
That over the years, she is what helped me get through a lot of different things.
Right.
So, you know, it's just like, yeah. So like when I hear her talk, man, like, you guys are getting it. I've been getting it for years, and it still just, you know, hits me.
I feel you.
know?
Yeah.
No worry, I'm gonna give him a hug after the show is over.
You give him he was there when I was suffering with no money as a Black student trying to make her way through dental school, and we would break bread together. No matter what I had, if my pocket had $2 and I could buy Kraft macaroni and cheese and cabbage, we would all be sitting there blessing the food and eating it. So yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. 6 Windsor Mill Road.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Homework, checking homework, teaching how to drive cars. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. She told me how to drive.
Wow.
Oh, man.
She told me how to drive. Yeah. Told me how to
So
drive.
God makes no mistakes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Once again, we thank you so much. You've been absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Your spirit is it pops through the screen. It pops through the screen.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
that I
definitely.
sure will.
If there's any way that we can help in any way, let us know. We will be more than
Absolutely.
happy to.